let's look at the skills required for a data science job. I think the most critical skill here is SQL. I'll quickly go through these skills. The most important skill is probably SQL. You should be able to query data, you should be able to fetch data from database, and you should be able to analyze that data. The next is a certain a basic understanding or a decent understanding, in fact, of statistics. Then comes Python as a programming language. Now, after this point, after these first two skills, you start getting into the domain of engineering, the domain of coding, and the domain of software in general. So you would be needing Python. Typically, any data scientist would be needing Python, would be getting started with Python as a programming language, as their first programming language, and would be entering the industry with that. You would be using Tableau, Power BI, a lot of these things for data visualization and data analysis. Actually, you would be needing product sense and business sense. I would want to talk about this in detail. I would talk about product sense and business sense in detail. But before that, you should be able to understand machine learning. You should be able to understand the algorithms in a lot of the logic behind a lot of machine algorithms, because these will be asked in interviews. In fact, I will talk about this also in detail. But before that, I want to talk about business sense and product sense. Why is business sense a requirement for a data science job? Especially these remote jobs that are based out of that are for these US-based companies actually. Does anyone want to take a guess? Why do you need to have a product understanding or a business understanding for a data science job? For example, let's just compare a data science job to probably a job of a software engineer, or probably a job of a marketing manager. Let's compare it to a marketing job or a software engineering job. They don't need any domain expertise, any business understanding or any product understanding to be able to write front-end code or back-end code, or maybe run marketing campaigns. But as a data scientist, you need to have a product understanding, a clear understanding of the business that the company is doing. Why? Because data science as a domain is not a standalone domain. Data science as a domain stands for nothing if you separate it from the business requirement or from the use cases of a particular business. I'll give you an example. Only if you understand how Amazon works, only if you understand how Flipkart works, only if you understand the business that Flipkart is in or the business that Amazon is in, only then will you be able to build, only then will you be able to understand the need for something like a fraud detection. You will never be able to understand need for a fraud detection model or fraud detection mechanism if you don't understand how Flipkart works, how Amazon works. If you don't understand that Flipkart is a marketplace where we're selling items, where the items will be handled by multiple stakeholders in between. There will be someone who will be shipping the item. There will be someone who will be packing the item. There will be someone who will be involved in delivery. There will be someone who would be actually doing the delivery to the customer. Then there will be a customer who would be opening up the package. Then the customer might be raising a request or a complaint. You have to be able to understand the entire spectrum of business, entire chain through which the product goes through, to be able to build a fraud detection engine. You have to understand that there might be something wrong going on in the delivery process itself. You have to first, if you want to give out a certain probability of fraud here, you have to be able to understand that there are multiple players involved in the process. Let's talk about let's talk about something else. Let's talk about another use case. Let's talk about Tesla. We talk about self-driving cars. You have to understand that the data that you are capturing and that a Tesla car is capturing through its sensors. If you are a data scientist at Tesla and you don't understand where this data is coming from, you just understand there's a lot of images coming, there's a video feed coming in, and you have to process those images, and you have to process that video feed. What you might end up doing is that you might end up taking your own sweet time processing those images and saying, okay, there is a truck in the image. There is a truck right in front of the car in the image. You take your own time and you give out this feedback. Let's say you give out this feedback tomorrow or in an hour, or say you take 5 seconds to give out this feedback. You take 5 seconds, your model, as a data scientist, whatever you built, it takes 5 seconds to give this feedback that there is a truck in front of the car. If you don't understand where this data is coming from, if you don't understand that this data is to be fed into a self-driving car, then you might take 5 seconds to give this feedback to the car. If you take 5 seconds to give this feedback, by then that feedback is useless and the car has already crashed into the truck. So with an understanding of the business, with an understanding of the product, you now as a data scientist, you understand that your role is to give out real-time feedback. Your role, the piece that you're building should be giving out this feedback, should be collecting data from all these sensors, processing this data, and should be giving out this feedback that there's a car in front of you within nanoseconds, if not probably microseconds actually. So I think with that, I think I give you a couple of examples where I said that business sense or a product sense or product understanding is very important for a data scientist. A data scientist cannot stay away from the business and say, okay, I will be coding in silos, or I will be building dashboards, or I will be analyzing data probably in silos. You can't be doing that actually. Now, I think that is a brief